Now we're going to take a look at the component itself and edit some of the settings on it. So go to component, Easydiscuss, and click on it. Now it brings you to this page where you have the details about everything about the component. So what I want to focus on now is just the settings. And when you click on that, you have a slew of different things that you can edit, but I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. For now, I am going to focus primarily on the categories and the settings, and maybe some of the users and the roles for it. So once you go to component Easydiscuss, you click on the settings. It brings you to this page where you can edit the name of the form. So I'm just going to edit that. And this is the key here. It's saying when someone after they post something, they posted something, where do you want to redirect them to? Do you want to redirect them to the current category, the home page, the categories page, or just leave it at the default? For now, I'm just gonna leave it at the default. And if you had other components installed here, you integrate this with it, but everything looks okay. So once you have done that, just click save. And once again, you want to go through these and just edit and play around with it. There's so many things here that you have to change. You can configure to your liking and the setting. So let's take a look next at the categories. Right now there's currently just one category, so let's just add a few categories. So when you click on new, title, marketing, since it's a parent category, I don't have to put under subcategory. So I'm just going to click save and new. Support. And I'm just making these up. Business. So I'm just going to create a couple more. And once I create the last one, I can just click save and close. So what that's done is I've created these categories 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are a total 8 categories here. And then you have the ACL, this is access control level. And what this does is you can set permissions for each person. So you can create allow certain people to be able to see or do certain things. So for example, when I click on the author, I can be able to set if I want this author to have, add new rules, add new questions, and these are the settings for them. You can go through those one by one. And if you really want to, create access levels for it, you would have to go to users access level. Now when you click on this here, you see that you have different access levels for it. And if you go to user groups, you have these here. So whenever you want to, let's say you want to have another admin or someone else to manage the site, you go to users, Add new user. I'm just gonna make up user one, and then password. And what happens here is this is where you get to set the permissions for it. You have to assign them to a specific group. And let me open up a new so I can show you side by side how this works. Now in this component, you're given the option of setting it for the user groups to set permissions for each person. So whenever you create a new user, whatever you check here, you can set the permissions on the component here to give them a certain type of access. For example, when you go to public, it shows you what the person can or cannot do. A public person is a person who just visit your website. They're not a member of it. And what this is saying is this person, they're not allowed to add new reply. They're not allowed to add new questions. They pretty much can't do anything in terms of interacting with other people on the site because there's the permission that's set. Now, if you want to change that, you can change that here and set to yes. So every time that a person visits the website, whether they're registered or not, they can be able to add new reply. Now, you wouldn't want that because you don't want a whole bunch of people just coming on your site and posting, nonsense on there. So you leave that set in there. And for the manager and administrator, register user, so you can set the permissions for each person here, and you have to do this just one time. So for example, a registered user, whatever permissions you set for them here, every time that someone register to the site as a registered user, they are going to have access to do the following things. They're going to be limited about what you've set here. So for example, a registered user, they can't add an existing discussion or existing post. They can delete replies. However, they can add new replies. They can add new questions. So you want to make sure that for your permissions, you set those accordingly. So when you're adding, admin members as part of your team, you can set the right permissions for them. And your role is a super admin or super user. That means that you have access to everything. You can do everything and anything on the site. So once you've determined the access control levels for each person, every time someone registers, you don't have to go back there and manually set up permissions for them. You set the permissions on the component and everything, is set to go. And this gives you an overview of the users that are part, of the site. So for example, if I were to go ahead and click save and close, I gotta put in an email. Once I put that there and I refresh the user page, it's gonna show all the users on your site. And sometimes, certain people are acting up. They want to, they're posting a bunch of spam, or you can go through each person's, profile individually and get a feel for, what they're doing and what they're linked to, what their history is and the details. And you can also even ban a person. You can delete them, because there are times when you will have to, delete people from your site because sometimes they, they want to spam. And so make sure that you go through all the users that are problematic. Sometimes you just have to delete some people, you just click here and just boom, see ya, and they're gone, just like that. And then of course, as I mentioned before, you have badges here as well. Badges are really great because it makes people feel great. As human beings, people like to feel rewarded. They want to, whenever people accomplish something, it makes them feel good. So you can come here and have a little fun with these. You can change when a person achieves a certain number of, certain number of points on the site, or if they're a regular visitor, if they're there often, or you can change those back here. You can change what it says. This says motivator. And these corresponds, with the point system. Every time a person gets to a certain number of points, they get a certain badge. So you have the power to be able to change the name of that badge. Or if you have some icons yourself, you can actually edit those. And as you can see, if you want to upload a new badge, you can upload it to the path. You can change the name, change the badge, and let's take a look at the point system. Alright, this is the point system that's set up here as well. So every time that someone's vote a reply, so when in the forum, whenever someone votes for a reply, they get 1 point. If they like a discussion, they get 1 point. But you don't have to keep these at 1 point. You can change those to however many points you need. See right here where it says points given. So I'm just going to change that to 10. So now every time someone votes for a reply, they get 10 points. And this is a real exciting way for you to get people interactive on the site, because the more points that they get, then of course the more that they want to get involved. And for a new comment, you want to make sure that you target the items that people do the most and give them the most points for. So for example, every time someone leaves a comment, and you want to give them a lot of points for it. Why? Because it encourages user interactions. Every time that they update their profile, every time that they do something, you give them points for. And then of course you have the ranks here. New member, junior member, senior member, expert member. And what this means is everyone that has points starting from 1 to 50, they will be considered a new member. Every time someone has points from 51 to 150, from 150 and so on and so forth. Now this is great because you can change these. You can change it from, instead of starting at 1, you can start from 1 or 3 or 50 to whatever. You can add you can put it to whatever numbers you want it to be. And it's going to show up on the person's profile, which I'll show you on the front end in a minute. And then of course the tags. This are all the tags that are part, that people created, and you can add some more tags. So just go through these and edit it, and there's so many things, great features here. Now there's the auto posting, which I'm very skeptical about using auto posting for forums. How this works is that every time someone posts a reply or comment on your website, it's going to automatically post to Facebook or Twitter. And once you click setup, you have to create an API, and which is very easy to do. Just follow this link and it shows you how to get that done. And once you've created it, you add the app ID and the app secret, and you do the same for Twitter, which is the consumer key and the consumer secret. Now the reason why I'm very skeptical about creating auto posting is I've had times past where I created this and set it up, and I checked my account and I saw a whole bunch of crap that I'm just like, what in the world is going on? And the sad part about it is this auto posting, when someone posts something that you don't want them to post, and you open up your Twitter account, your Facebook account, and it's leading to some pornographic website or some demeaning site, or just crazy site, that can mess up your reputation, even though you didn't personally post it, but because someone else posted, so you want to make sure that you go through the settings. And there's also a setting here where you can choose to approve stuff, comments before they're posted, but it's at your discretion to use these. For me personally, I wouldn't use them because I've had several experiences where people, spammers create an account and they just want to, have a field day with it. But that is how you set the component, the settings, the SEO. You can check this, the maintenance, the voting. So take some time to go through this and make sure that you set it according to your specifications or your needs.